Hey guys, this is Monarchy, and today I want to discuss with you guys about creative space. And to make things short, or try to make things short, I'm going to compare this with Little Big Planet, Dreams, and Sims, so on and so forth, that I'll probably not be able to remember most other type of games. But you get the idea where I'm going with this. To make this creative space better, or Sega could improve on these ideas. Not just my ideas, maybe your guys' ideas as well. Or improve what I have. So today, if you could kind of see, I have examples for you guys to make it a little faster. So let's get to it. So right now, as of blueprints, there's issues on the blueprints. So if someone, let's use this example, wants to use a blueprint, but in the same time you cannot move it or adjust it on size, width, whatever it may be, different type of axis, as well as rotating how you want it. Because like any of these, for an example, you could rotate it is 360 full axis rotation, and size width you have full axis. But it's an extent. You cannot resize it how you want it. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, but you don't have a full complete axis. So like if you want to make it wide, you can't really do that. If you want to make it taller, just tall, you can't really do that, or shorter. That's a big issue on, especially like the event props. You can't really do certain things, as well as painting it. And like for the blueprint, you can't repaint it. You cannot paint things like this. That's like a flag, blueprint. These things from Sonic. The only, oops, the only way for you could kind of mess with it is adding something to make like a unique figurine. This is what I made. For an example, I cannot change the color, so I had to kind of match it for it could hide what it is, if you get my drift. So if it's like Sonic, then I would change this to blue, and depending on the position that it comes by, it would be neat if you could crop it, edit it, customize it as you want, reshape it. And same goes with this one. You can't paint it how you want it and like recreate the bouncing thing or anything else like this. This would be helpful, those little mags that you could edit it and customize it, like putting text or a voice overlay. That would be neat. And so far, there are certain items, what I've seen and tried and messed with, you could change the color. But you cannot change the smoke or increase the smoke density and make it more pronounced. The light fixtures has that issue. Only certain lights, like this basic light that they give you, that one you could kind of tweak it, mess with it. Same goes with this tiki. You cannot change the fire color as I would like to. This mast or sail, whatever it is, you cannot change it. Blueprints, going back there again, you can't really fix or improve what you want. If you want to readjust it, you have to delete it and re-add it again. That's one of the big problems on it for me, but I don't know for you guys. But like this example here that I put, kind of the similar as what I showed you on the blueprint. With the door. And delete it. So this, how you like want to create something to your imagination, if it's a figurine, a doll, or your own design. But if you could see, if you want to have a wall door, for an example, first of all, you cannot make it automatic as of yet, because you need a certain I think something like this to help you make it automatic. But why not have it already installed into the item that can become an automatic door? You just need to go to settings, and what you see here, these are certain somewhat of a hassle because it's confusing. They need to rebuild the setting parts on how it functions, because you see here opening door with numbers. You don't have a tutorial, you have to figure out. In Little Big Planet 321, whatever it may be, and Dreams, Sims, Minecraft, they have tutorials and they have certain items that functions together or not together. So you can make something out of any of those parts. You just need to play with certain things more and figure out what you could do with it. Like, you know, alchemy, for an example, or being a scientist, or, you know, math equations. These can be helpful, but it needs to be more detailed. Yeah, you could close the door, you could open it. That's about it, till you have other parts that helps you do certain things. But anyways, it would be nice to have a glue things together, so when you glue a wall and a door together, it becomes a new door. So this part here, if you could see, oops, there you go. If you could see, the inside here will take away of that part of the door of the wall. So it unfills it. So you have, when you're opening it, it's pretty much a door. And when you're closing it. But now, if someone wants to like go in, you can't really go in. So, okay. It would be nice to have different texture or different colors on certain things due to people have like color blindness issues. That isn't their fault, but it would be nice to give people benefit of, you know, making their own world and having, you know, their way of seeing things. So like this water crystal, whatever it is, it's a liquid. It would be nice because in Little Big Planet you have certain tools, certain items that you play with: glass items, liquid items, gas, fire, like lava for an example. All these components that you could make your pretty much your own level or your own world of your creative space. That you are designing a more thorough ways how you see things or you imagine things. So it'd be nice to have that creativity of a broad range. Although, yes, we are limited and restricted and maybe gate-kept to an extent, but it would be nice to have a new way of looking in creative space for anybody that wants to create something. They can do it, and they're not restricted or limited to what they want to do, even though there are going to be certain, you know, obstacles or barriers that we are allowed to do those things because it's our own world. And like this kitchen prop, it would be nice that you can make it work and functional. Like if you click here, this button, water comes out, like you're washing dishes or making you know, like kids, they're playing house. So why not have functional items that people want to play house, or, you know, make a bat cave or something, or, you know, things that, like Lego games, for example. They're Legos, but there are functional things that you could make, build, and, you know, play around with and go to other levels, and, you know, it works. This is just, you know, there, and why have it if it's not functional? That's, you know, my pet peeve on that. Like the tree, it would be nice if we could change it, like how I was talking about character customization, that you could customize your items, things that you want. So if you want a like I'm said it again, the liquid block or material, that you could make this whole level as a sea level or under depth water level, and there is gravity that you can mess with and tweak it, a gravity floor that they put on. So let's say if I'm here, right, the gravity, let's say these doors is a gravity fixture. So we'll have like all around. These doors are pushing me because it's gravity wise, and here too. If I don't have nothing, I will be bouncing all over and going one direction, supposedly. But what if you could able to change the gravity? If you open this, so it would be these two bouncing me around, like pretty much this way. So what if you could able to change and manipulate gravity into the create a space? Because in Little Big Planet, you were able to do things with certain items that they give you, that you could tweak it and have the players that's playing your level or your creative space. It's, you know, very fun, and it's like a puzzle that you have to figure out. And also like Meet Your Maker is another creative space type of theme, but it's called Outpost. So you also can raid different creative spaces. They have traps and loot and monsters in the create space. But it's an idea to get the creative imagination flowing. And here's another thing. In the open world, you could see these turtles, and they move around all over a certain Pacific space. So we have the same turtle, but it's not moving. It's moving in extent, but it's, you know, locked on to one spot right here. It can't really move, even though it has, you know, it's simulating movement, but it's not moving. So why not have the same function that the turtles in the open world in the game, whereas the mag at Retem, you'll see sea turtles moving around circles or, you know, a certain pattern. Why can't we do this with any of our animals, like cats, dogs, dolphins, shark, turtles, birds, camels, and, you know, so on and so forth? Why can't we give them more movement and give them a certain movement direction where they should go, where they can stop, and where they could end, and, you know, a loop motion? Because it would be nice to make, like, if I said it again, I'm gonna say it again, a C level or C creative space, and we could use these turtles move it around, and we could use that as like stepping stones, and, you know, try not to fall as they're moving towards some place where someone that created that level, and you're able to go to a certain direction, because you're into their space, so you don't know where you're supposed to go. You might be jumping and you falling, and these are your only safe area where you could go, but he's guiding you, navigating you in a direction where you need to go for your pit stop, and you could keep going further towards the level. Here is a great example. Hold on. This door here, like I said, you cannot go into the door because it's a solid object. But there is a cheese, glitch, or bypassing method. So if you could see here, it says sit. Why not? I'm sitting in the other side. I bypassed it. I forced my way into the solid object, to this space where I am. So if I want to go back, I can't. I could only close or open the door. I can't go back. And I could, let's say I'm in the glitch area or glitch zone, or a place that I just went by bypassing a solid object because it's thick, and I was able to bypass it. Regardless what it is, you're using the materials what the company has given you. You're not cheating in a way. You're not breaking the game or a certain way, or to an extent. Is you're using what they gave you. And you have access to that zone, even if they're not letting you, but you're forcing your way to a solid object, to going to one side to another. That's how certain leakers or people that's cheating, glitching, maybe hacking, who knows, we're all in the same mindset of things. But this is one way of, like, especially in creative space, you could do without a functional door how you want it. But you know, it comes in a cost that the world that you're trying to make, it's not, you know, fully complete. Only if you do something like this, glitching, cheating, bypassing, forcing yourself to a solid object. It's a trick of certain people that knows how to do these things. So another example, like this fountain here, I can put a material or item, I could put an item where I'm not able to access, because it's allowing you to get access, but you're not allowed. But in a way you could bypass this barrier is by putting an item and going in. So I have complete access inside the fountain to do whatever I want. As much as I like to have no barriers or a cheat or, you know, glitch. If you can see here, this is my breaking point that I cannot get back into it. Or, you know, if somebody wants to get access to here, you cannot put I don't know. Let's see. What about if I do this? Yeah. you can't really, because there's ways you could do this even in the open world. So if you can see, this is where the breaking point is. You need something to enter to the other side that gives you permission. So you're breaking barriers or boundaries. And because it's giving you permission, it's telling you you can have access here, even though you have a border. Well, putting something like this that grants you access, and then going to the place where you want to go. A new area, for an example, because this is what people used to do in Destiny. We found walls that we could sneak our way in or force our way in. So we had to do glitches, cheesing our way to a certain area to figure out what it is. Oh, maybe a new area. Let's check it out. This is one way of forcing bypassing to another region or another level. So, like in the open world, there's ways you could bypass the wall, barrier wall. I'm not going to say how you do it. That is on you guys, if you guys want to explore that and do mischievous things. But a fair warning, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it, because once you get caught or get in trouble, don't point fingers on someone like me or anybody else that does this type of thing. Even though I announce myself I'm a glitcher, I'm a cheater on Pokemon. Am I a hacker? No, I don't hack. I don't know how to do that. I know how to glitch. And this is, my knowledge of how to do things as simple as going one place to another. I don't do it in this account, but since this is my creative space, I have free will to do what they give me. I'm just giving you, a heads up, a sneak peek, a preview on what people can do with this type of knowledge. But depending on you, how you're going to use it. There's good ways to use it and there's bad ways to use it. In this case, I just want to go in the center, maybe make a house, or do something creative and using this sprinkling type of effect, which it would be nice to have more effects, but also why have double of everything? It should be single item that you could change the color or change the effect of that stone. Or if you want different type of effects, which Meet Your Maker did successfully, we should be able to do it here. There's videos, and I'm gonna put part 2 of create a space in the Meet Your Maker. So this video will be conclusive to that other one as well. So like this quicksand effect, how's it? Oh, right. see, you cannot use all the axes. I wish you can. This is one way I guess you could kind of use it. Like to give like the fog machine type of look or steam, but it's not, perfect. It's, it is what it is. It would be nice you could manipulate more things, glue things together, make it a different new function and things like that. But like I said again, there's certain ways I would like to see Sega improve on, especially in creative space on one hand, and maybe on my other videos that I'm thinking of, I'm going to talk about more on the battle zone, sector zone. But for right now, I'm doing little things at a time to go to the other part of the tutorial. And in this case, I wish you have, like, depending what you're trying to use, the items that you have, there should be tutorial on how you use this, how you use that. For example, here, 2 switches, and all these, we shouldn't be having all that. The switches should be exactly the same thing how you use it, regardless of the switch is on when you step on it, and this part switch is only while you step on it. It should be the same mechanic for one switch. Why have 2? You should only use one and have those 2 type of mechanics into one switch, not A switch or B switch. No, it doesn't go that way. If it's the same thing, why have 2 that's different type of mechanics? Why not just clump it together and make one switch, like the time cube? Why have these 3 types of timer, or how the timer functions? It should be one timer cube with all those functionalities, and you have to have a tutorial on how to use that function, and as well as the switch function. Combo cube, another mechanic that they could add on one single cube. This cube is useful sound, but it should be nice that if you have a mic, you could talk to it and put sound effects, or use your voice overlay to give a character or a prop or item, whatever, voice or scripture of text. Why you have to have 2 voice cube? Why not just one? Because like I said before on my other video, they have so many features or mechanics that it shouldn't be there in the beginning. You're just putting more crap into a single game that you're putting like multiple things that you don't need. Maybe the effects or the feeling of the texture. So like I said again, why have multiple beds, multiple chairs? Chairs I could kind of get due to different style of chairs. Okay, beds, okay, but you should be able to shrink it and resize it and put it in different areas. Like another thing, you can't really have all axes. you should have all access of every item. So if you have gravity, or if you don't have gravity, you be able to flip it and you could sit upside down or right side up, side by side, whatever it may be. Things like that makes the creative space more interesting. Like shelves, storage. There's different type of storage, different types of bed, different chairs, different baths that you should be able to resize and have different access for you could change it in a different way how you want it. And if you want to make something that is you could go through, this is just like, a material, but it's not solid. You could go through it. What if you could change it into a solid object? Because this won't make sense to make a solid, or it would be nice that you can make it invincible, that you can see through it, but it's not really there. See, different textures on that note. Oh yeah, I was talking to someone about different textures on certain things. Like another example, if you want to make a window out of a new window material that people could get blueprints out of, like, so let's say I want to make this as a window. How can you make it like a window? You need a glass material for it. Why can't you just yeah, you could hide it and it's a solid thing, but you don't have that like after image or that window texture that people are looking for. So once you get out, it's nothing there. You don't have that window textured look. And once you see, it's something, something there, just that it's something solid. The only way you could see it is in the creative mode. And you're not looking for an invisible prop. You're looking for, like, you want to make it like a window, or a water texture, fire texture, grassy texture, whatever texture it may be. There's things I would like Sega to do. Like I said, gluing. Yeah, this is like pasting in a way. Let's say, for the sake of argument, it's pasted. Yeah, but you're not creating something that you want to replace or remake for yourself and make a blueprint out of it and give it to someone else, or someone likes it, they could get the blueprint. You're not actually creating something, you're making something, but it's another mishap, whatnot. But yeah, there's features that were missing. As you can see, you're limited, you're restricted to these menu setting features, but it's not enough. We need more to get, like, crop, paste, redo, undo, and those things. So, like, I'm gonna play you a certain piece of Dreams, what I would like you guys to hear. And for now, we're getting this part, which is, let's see. I believe is here. I think number 3. Oh yeah, link portable. And listen to this.
Call your levels together to create a campaign or just add a single scene. Release a dream and people will be able to play it in dream serving and you'll get a chance to be featured on the front page. In create mode itself, you'll probably want to add some 3D models to whatever you're making. There are 2 layers to assets. One is where you're sculpting. Here you'll fundamentally add the shapes and colors that make up the thing. But 2 is the tweak menu of an asset, pressing L1 and square on it. Here you can override the sculpted color or make it physical, for example, allowing it to fall or bounce around. This immediately brings me to optimization. It sounds complex, but is essential to understand and fairly simple to not mess up once you get it. Dreams has 2 important thermometers, gameplay and graphics. These show you how much you can put in a scene before PS4 runs out of memory essentially. The graphics portion is about quality. How detailed are the assets in your game? The gameplay portion is about quantity. How many things are in your game? Important to understand is that graphics thermo doesn't multiply when you have multiple of the same asset in the scene, so you can have the most detailed asset in the entire world, and you'll still be able to clone it 18,000 times just like any other one. There's just one catch, and that is that if you edit an asset, it will count as a new one, which will in fact double the thermo for that specific object then. So you want to avoid editing the same asset to create variation unless necessary. And this brings me back to the tweak menu. Tweaking an asset doesn't make it count as a new asset. And so if you want color variation, for example, you can just tweak the...
That's the only downside on that. If you're cloning and you're having multiple things at once, it should be able to allow you to, if you're cloning a certain object or copying a certain object, it should be what you made it in the first place should replicate the same way. That's the only thing that I'm going to say on that.
Graphics optimization itself is very simple as well. In the tools menu, you'll find a tool called Adjust Detail. With this, you can make an object either more or less detailed. Keep in mind that even though a low detailed object looks the same as a high detailed one set to higher looseness in its tweak menu.
Oh, before I forget, let's say this object for an example, it would be great to have a function like if you want to make a funnel or tube of some kind, you should be able to fill it or unfill it, creating something out what you already have. So let's say I was able to unfill this space, so I'm making like cannon, for example, or a hose from Mario, for an example, that little green hose things, that the tunnel that he goes in and comes out of. Let's say something like that. What if you're able to do things like that? Yeah, it's more in depth, but it's more easy friendly if you're following the tutorial, because you're pretty much showing people what you can do. There's many different ways you could do to create a space or create something. So that's, my take, my opinion on that aspect.
Only the actual lower detail one takes up less space. So a practical example real quick. Imagine you want to make a skyscraper. A first day dreamer will make the entire thing one sculpt, taking up a mad graphics thermal in the process, since you need a ton of detail to make a sculpt that large look sharp in gameplay. That's bad. But they learn, right? To save graphics, the second day dreamer will create one low thermal window and just copy it 400 times. But this is also bad because now you're taking up precious gameplay thermal, which is much harder to optimize away since it requires deleting dozens if not hundreds of things to see a small drop. This is why experienced dreamers are able to make much larger games than beginners, because a professional dreamer understands when to optimize for which thermal. With the skyscraper example, they might just sculpt the front face of one floor and then clone that 40 times, which will put equal pressure on both thermos. Experienced dreamers are very smart with asset use in general. Like, for example, they might make the skyscraper green and change the whole flag type and turn it into like a field of grass with no additional cost. And just quickly to be clear, using code mode, style mode or effects mode on a sculpt also doesn't make it count as a new asset, so use it as much as you like. That brings me to gameplay. You create gameplay in Dreams using logic. I won't explain it all because there's just too much, but there's some stuff you can immediately get started with. The default Dreams lighting is pretty bad, so you can stamp down a sun and sky gadget and tweak it. For more realistic lighting, make the sun white, and on the second page you can turn horizon definition and flag shade randomness down. The distance fog that makes your scene look transparent is something that will haunt you at first, so let me help you immediately. On that second page you can push it backwards as far as 50,000 meters, which completely gets rid of it pretty much. Mine usually is between 3 and 10,000. Also, something you'll run into quickly is preview invisibility. By default this is turned on, making any assets set to be invisible or completely powered off invisible in create mode as well, which often confuses new players. You can find the tweak in the show hide tab. I recommend always having it turned off. Also, an important function in the same bit of menu is X-ray mode. This allows you to see logic inside groups. Sometimes when you add something from the Dreamiverse, it comes with a lighting gadget or something. X-ray mode will allow you to spot it easily. Getting started with logic is something I can't give too many tips on because I already kind of knew the logic from Little Big Planet. I will say though that reverse engineering logic in Dreams has helped me tremendously. I'd say find some medium molecule created contraptions and just start messing with the logic and try to understand what happens. I don't really make tutorials on this YouTube channel anymore. I think talking general game design is much more productive and fun for everyone involved, but I might make a one-time exception for a logic crash course. Let me know if that would interest you. When it comes to music, you'll probably have the easiest time getting started, but only if you're comfortable making music already probably. It took me a while to understand how it worked, so I'll give you a quick rundown. Go to sound mode and stamp a music timeline down. This is different from a normal timeline.
But that's just to give you guys an idea what Sega can do or improve a certain way. They don't need to make it like Dreams, because Dreams is their expertise on that certain thing. And for us, for Creative Space, they could make it somewhat of a viable kind of like Meet Your Maker. But you know, slightly better in a way. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Just that, keep in mind, if you're gonna do glitches, cheesing, or cheating, just be careful. And it's not for everyone. And people might, frown upon it, which is fine, because everyone has the right of their opinion. But this is like, my go-to sometimes. Like if I want to experience different things or find new things going a new adventure, it's something that keeps you, somewhat sane. Because you want to know how certain things works, how certain things function. But, there's things to, just leave it be. Because you don't want to break the game by accident or break your character by accident. And that's another thing. There's a cause and effect logic. So if you found something that you could change the cause or affect how you do things in a game, but the cause of it is that you might hurt or damage people around you or hurt your character, and your character will be buggy and other things that can happen. That, let's say, you're playing around on the open world and somehow you're starting to fall out of nowhere. And you're trying to like, okay, something's going wrong. So you back out and go back in, and then once you in the safe zone, you're like, okay, I'm okay. But then it's all over the sudden you're falling and you're like, what the hell's happening? It's because you did something that causes it and that affected you by doing something you're not supposed to, or you're not totally experienced. So if you want to learn to do those things, I'm not that type of person to teach, but I can show you different tips and tricks. Not as of now or on this character, because I just play, have fun. But yeah, just be careful on what you do and just have fun while you can, but be mindful and be respectful on what you do, what you're trying to cause or create. Because you can create something out of something, because here, all these are items you're able to play with in the space of creative space. But what if you find a logic and something that you could tweak and mess with? That could turn to a bug or a glitch on its own, which I'm not gonna say any further, because like this, you could probably mess this fountain up by doing certain things, which I'm not gonna show you. This is pretty much basic 101. If you want, mess around certain things, break certain, barriers, that is okay inside the space. But keep in mind, when there's something that you don't know or you're not aware of, it could hurt your character, that in a point of time you may need to delete that character due to whatever things you are doing. It has data information. So this, for example, is a data information, but at the same time not really, because you're not harming anything. It's the only data information is getting, you're sitting or laying down on the bed and you're doing the same function what a bed is doing. But if you're able to create and mess with the function of the bed or the space of the fountain, that's where it gets tricky. Because right now all the data information is going on the bed, not on your character. Just a heads up and keep in mind. Because people like to use math and numbers. I'm not the type of person to use math and numbers, depending on what. That I have to go to an extent to figure out the math equation. But in this case, it's all about feel. So if you feel this is okay, this is okay. And it is, because all the information is going there. Only information that's on your character or on your space, you're laying down. And that's pretty much bypassing TOS in a way, because you're in that gray area. because you're not doing nothing bad. You're doing what they give you. You're laying down. This is what you could create, and this is what you create in create a space. Are you breaking any rules, in TOS? No. You're using what they give you. You're not harming anything. You're not harming anybody. And, you're not putting bad dilemma. You're just doing what you're doing. And this is a gray area where it allows you, but at the same time, it's like a iffy, like, I don't know, you're supposed to do that. You should check the TOS. So it doesn't say anything that you could do things like this. And if it does, there's other ways around it that they could change the TOS like it said there. You could just change the way you do things, and you're ahead of the game. This is what I mean by being ahead. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't destroying anything. I'm not harming anybody. You could do the same dilemma, the same idea into the open world of the game. But keep in mind as well, respecting the people around you. If there's people around you, you shouldn't be doing something like this, because you might harm them in a way or put them at risk on a bug or certain thing. That's why if you're solo by yourself or by yourself in a zone area, people that's nearby shouldn't be nearby you while you're doing something, because it could affect the area while they're there. Just a heads up. And like I said, be respectful, be mindful. Don't be disrespectful and do malicious things or bad behavior, quote unquote, things, because it's not bad behavior you're doing. People might think of that or having that mentality that wants to report you for doing something malicious or dangerous or whatever, and not really the case. Because if you could see, what am I doing? Laying down. This is my space. They can't do or say anything. Even if you're making a video. But you have to be respectful. See, me, I'm just, giving an example respectfully how you could do or what you should not be doing. But yeah, I'll leave it as is. Give me your ideas. Give me your examples, feedback, whatever. Like, dislike, subscribe, and I'll fill you guys in more in the future. And I'll make part 2, like I said, on Meteor Maker. Sayonara.